Welcome to the stream. Today we have more Mr. Love Queen's Choice. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to see where we go from here. We've been investigating with Lucien for a bit, and it looks like our next chapter is actually going to be a Kiro chapter. So those of you that are all about Kiro being the best guy, totally will be excited about the next chapter. Why is the... Okay, there we go. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun. Hello, Ash. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, my voice is kind of today for some reason. Probably just need more water. Sometimes that happens. How have you been, Ash? I hope you've been doing well. Doing good? Awesome. Glad to hear it. Have you been playing Tears of the Kingdom? Ash, are you enjoying it? I've seen so many people playing Tears of the Kingdom, and, like, I'm not a big Zelda fan, but I know a lot of people have really been enjoying it. Let's go into Mr. Love Queen's Choice. None of these boys are sus. None of them. Hello, Orville. Welcome to the stream. How are you? You show a special interest in Shiba Inu related products. Why is he, like, mad about that? The next Splatoon and Splatoon... Ah, yes. I'm excited about the next season, too. No, not all of them. None of them are sus.
Right.
See? Even Victor agrees. None of them are sus. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Let's see here. What do I have? Nothing there. Ooh, I haven't done this yet. Oh, that's why I haven't done it yet. Everybody is grossly over-leveled for me. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Alright, well, let's just go on in, I guess. Go on in to the game. I'm doing good here, Orville. Yes, I do like these sussy boys. I like sussy boys, apparently. Alright, so last week we were investigating with Lucien. We found out that the biggest signal was coming from the TV tower. Evol was going out of control. This week we're going to continue our investigation with Lucien and I think go into a Kiro chapter soon. So hopefully Moose will get here soon because I know Moose likes Kiro. When we made it to the foot of the TV tower, it was already past opening hours. It would be 2 more days until it opened again. Oh, crap. So, we have to wait 2 more days. 2 more days before it opens. She's old. I am old. 36, man. I couldn't wait that long. Who knows how much would happen in that amount of time? We need to find a way to get in there.
Don't panic. I've already contacted someone to help us open the door.
How did you get a hold of someone when it was closed? Lucien suddenly stopped moving. I could feel that tense air coming over him again. What's wrong? A black wind appeared in midair, surging with violent air currents. It was exactly the same as the one at the Twin Towers. Back in your day, video games were going good. Without a word, Lucien raised a hand and pulled me behind him. In a flash, several men wearing black appeared before us, blocking our way forward. Oh boy. The weapon kit ideas I have for the next season will be in Discord. Be aware, my messages may look spammy. No, you're good, you're good. I can't wait to see your ideas. Is that you? The leader laughed coldly and they morphed into black wind, blotting out the sky as they charged at Lucien. Lucien! I stepped forward nervously, but discovered that the glowing white barrier had once again enveloped me. Lucien turned and put a hand on my shoulder. He had an icy expression on his face, like I'd never seen before. Oh no, the men in black! Close your eyes so you don't get the flashy thingied! Hello, Moose! Welcome to the stream!
Wait for me.
Wait for you where? Before I had time to speak, Lucien and the light started to warp. An intense white light flashed, and when I came to, the scene before had completely changed. We got flashy thingied, but I think we still remember everything. What's happened? Everything was happening so quickly. I stared around in a daze. I was on an unfamiliar street, and the only thing in sight was the TV tower in the distance. Rip my memories. No kidding. So we went to the TV tower and Men in Black attacked us. How did I suddenly get here? The image of Lucien's hand on my shoulder suddenly flashed in my mind. Was this Lucien's doing? He wanted to face those people on his own? A tangle of thoughts seethed in my mind. Reason told me that I would only be a distraction if I was there, but my emotions couldn't let me just stay here. If I get closer, just a little closer. Hello, Mango Ninja. Welcome. I felt the pin Lucien gave me in my pocket and gripped it tight. This luck charm of a pin would definitely give me some good luck. I ran off toward the TV tower, even though he told me to wait for him. I'd never run so fast before, as if a great, terrible danger was chasing me from behind, like every second was life and death. You got Tears of the Kingdom and it's very fun. I've heard really good things about it. I had a friend who got it and they are just so excited about all the different things they can do in it. Lots of gameplay stuff. I could see it right in front of me, but it still seemed so far away, like I would never get there. A golden beam of light suddenly streaked overhead, and a bitter cold black wind blew past me. The thunderous sound stopped me in my tracks. That was really loud. As in the original. The definite article, you might say. Kind of like the Doctor, but more mango-y and more ninja-y. It's great to feel upside quest. That's good, though, because, I mean, I am not a big fan of Zelda, but it's something I'll consider. Could it be? I didn't dare think of such a dreadful possibility. It couldn't be Lucy. It couldn't be. Lucien couldn't be in trouble.
Why are you here all of a sudden?
Oh boy. He angry. I think I made an oopsie. It was Lucien's voice. I could hear bits and pieces. As I crept closer, I could see Lucien standing in front of those men. Seeing he was standing straight, my anxiety calmed down a little. They seemed to be discussing something. Did something happen after I left? Ares, we got the order to bring you in. You haven't fulfilled your mission, and the organization thinks you're going to turn traitor.
Says who? All of you?
Uh-oh.
Whose order?
They looked at each other and shook their heads. We don't wish to affront you, but you've been dragging your feet with this mission. Even with the requirement that the target stays alive, you've had plenty of opportunities.
A good hunter won't let his prey feel a hint of anything astray before it's captured.
I'm not liking this. I am not liking this. I am not liking his voice. I'm not like... He's scary.
She already walked step by step into my snare. If you all hadn't appeared, I'd have already succeeded.
I don't like this at all. His voice is so creepy. Gosh, Bill Rogers did such a great job on this. Sussy Baka is sussy.
Who can take the blame for this misstep?
These words sent me into a spiral. Yeah, I'm already in a spiral. I thought he was mad at me. A terror like never before welled up within me. Okay, well, Bill Rogers did his job. I'm scared. I'm not kidding. I seemed to have fallen through a crack in the ice. My heart was exploding with a sharp pain. The face of Lucien I saw in profile before me held a gloom and viciousness I had never seen before. That moment, I actually had an absurd desire to turn around and run away. Wasn't Lucien the one who told us to trust our instincts? Why aren't we trusting our instincts right now? Like, even I'm freaked out. Like, his voice is, like, so different. It's creeping me out. Was it so I could tell myself that I didn't see or hear all this? That he wasn't Lucien? And I wasn't myself? But I couldn't go. The enveloping barrier burst in that instant. Oh no. I felt a strange, suffocating feeling in my throat. I opened my mouth, but I couldn't say anything. He did go full spoopy mode. I didn't even see that Lucien had already turned around. His fist fell open slackly and then gripped tight again. I could only see surprise and concealment on his face. Was all of that true? My quivering voice was like a dull blade.
Lies.
Lucien stood there, his tone neutral.
But if I say that, will you believe me?
I think I'm done, guys. I'm done with this game. Nope, we're done. I didn't nod or shake my head. I only looked doggedly at Lucien. With my last ounce of hope, I wanted to hear him deny it. Who is Ares? Lucien pointed at himself and took a step toward me.
Under the circumstances, I don't need to lie to you. Everything you just heard, it's all true.
Guys! His cold voice reverberated in the barren space. It was as if all my energy had been drained from me. The blinding setting sun struck my face painfully. It felt like something was jabbed into my heart. I pinched my palm hard so I wouldn't start crying. My body broke out in sweat, and my heart beat like thunder. Countless sounds were swarming in my brain, but I didn't have the power to convert them into language. And the way everything went so smoothly today? Was that also your doing?
You're quite clever.
Dude! That is so cold! I don't like this! Oh my gosh. No. No. And all that stuff you told me today. It was lies? Lucien didn't respond. He only stared coldly at me. And before?
I have never engaged in idle pursuits.
In an instant, ice-cold water snuffed out the last ember of warmth in my heart. His words were like a knife, stabbing hole after hole in my heart. Oh my gosh, this is the worst chapter ever. My instinct was to flee to some place where no one knew me, but my feet were laden. I couldn't take a step, because I'm so in shock from this personality change. A bitter taste dripped into my mouth. Insert I told you so gif here. No! Why?
I've warned you before. You still had time to run. Too bad you have no awareness of danger. Or one could say, you trusted me too much.
I don't like the look in your face. I don't like it. No. Lucien spoke in a measured tone that was provocative and mocking. With ease, he ripped open a scar that I hadn't fully healed, and my tears came pouring out. I don't know why, but in that instant, I seemed to see a flash of sorrow in his eyes. But in less than half a second, he had resumed his composure. Then he pursed his lips and made a faint smile. Thick blackness surrounded him. Even the brightest of setting suns couldn't reach him. I really am stupid. How can an investigation be this easy, with such convenient obstacles? Everything was just a snare set up by him. I defiantly raised my head and tried to force back my tears. But I still hoped that the hint of sorrow I caught was real. I hoped he was still the way he used to pretend to be. But then, why did his eyes seem so sincere? Even now, I wasn't willing to completely believe. My heart told me that it wasn't lies. Helping me save my final show was real. Rescuing me from danger was real. Every bit of encouragement and help was all real. If all that was real, then could the person in front of me now be fake? I strained to find in his eyes any sign of pain, struggle, even a moment's hesitation, but there were none. There was nothing at all. With the calm and indifferent way he was regarding me, it was like we were two strangers. Aries, what are you waiting for? The men in black saw that Lucien wasn't moving and started to rush at me. I don't know where my strength came from, but in an instant I held something sharp, oh wow, onto my neck. I tremblingly held the pin, sensing the bitter taste in my throat. They had just said they weren't supposed to endanger my life, so right now, this was the only bargaining chip I had. Seeing my action, everyone froze. How ironic. He clearly gave it to me as a gift, and now it was carrying out its mission like this. Just what is your objective?
A better future.
He didn't want to say more. He picked up his foot and stepped slowly toward me. Go away! I'm so mad. Don't come near me!
You won't do it.
He was as sure of himself as always. His eyes didn't twitch. When he got less than a meter from me, he stopped. My neck was in terrible pain, and half my body was going numb. I didn't even realize that a trickle of blood was streaming down my neck. We stood there, neither of us moving. The cold wind stung my face.
Don't do anything foolish.
You're right. I am too foolish. When I was at my lowest, he held out a hand of friendship to me, and I took it in full trust. And now, here he was again, saying in the same voice I was so familiar with that all this was a trap. He wished me luck, said to make him proud, and even said facing the truth required undergoing pain and torture. Isn't this pain and torture that he's been giving me now? He stood there, aloof and cold, with all those emotions swirling in his eyes that I never understood before. Now, I finally understand. It was the thrill of laying a trap, the joy of watching your prey take the bait. Let me go.
You think you can negotiate with me?
You still owe me a thank you gift. Tear rolled down my face silently. This is really breaking my heart. I'm not gonna lie. As I said this, his mouth, hello, UB, curled up a bit. Such a subtle smile made it look more like a kind of mockery.
I can let you go, but next time, you won't get such an opportunity.
Aries?
Silence.
Before he'd finished speaking, those men were wrapped up in a white light and disappeared instantly. I was doing really good, and now my heart is broken because of this game.
Don't let me catch you next time.
Lucien spoke softly. So soft I almost couldn't hear. Yes! I'm excited to do German tomorrow, too. He turned his back to me, seemingly not wanting to take one more look at me. Who is he really? The Lucien who's given me unending warmth and encouragement? Or this Aries who coldly says I stepped into his trap long ago? Wasn't he tired from deceiving me all this time? Next time, I won't trust you, Aries. I said his name with deliberation. He's not Lucien. He's Aries. I will never trust you again, because you are not Lucien. He would never harm me. Hello, Super Jake Ultra Instinct Evolved. How are you? Ares and Lucien have nothing to do with each other. He turned but said nothing. That was the last time I saw that gentle look in his eye. Then he looked up at the sky as his whole body merged into the shadows, and he continued onwards. I looked up and saw in the distant sky 2 kites get tangled together, and then fall from the air. The symbolism! Does that mean I'm never gonna get to fly a kite with him now? Oh my gosh! We were just talking to him the other day about how we need to fly a kite together. The sunset truly was beautiful. In the end, this was a waste of wonderful weather. I gathered my nearly frayed wits, dried my tears, and departed from that place with no reluctance. I walked slowly and didn't look back once. The way home was long, and I staggered along. I don't know how long I walked. All around were garbled, distant sounds of people. Felt like I was floating in the middle of the ocean. In my stupor, I heard someone call my name. I turned, but all I saw was my own reflection. I seemed to see myself get in a car that went the wrong way. One that didn't go to the Research Institute when I was preparing for my last show. I seemed to see myself walk past that camphor tree. A familiar boy sat under the tree, but I didn't go up to him. I turned and left. I even saw myself chasing a man in a white coat, holding a kite in his hand. In the blink of an eye, the string broke and the kite flew away. I was the only one left on the field. A cold wind blew, and my whole body shivered. I never thought that I would think about those past events in circumstances like this. The boy with his drawings under the camphor tree. The boy wearing the red scarf, lying in a pool of blood. Memories came flooding back, drowning me. Clatter. The pen fell from my hand onto the ground. The X etched onto it, gleaming, seemingly telling me some story. The crowds were erupting in cheers, following their gaze as I looked up. Several beautiful kites flew high overhead in swooping arcs. I followed their traces until they disappeared. Spring was almost over. No one would be flying kites anymore. Oh my gosh! Dude, that chapter, oh my word. Heartbreaking. For real. Hello, Jay. Welcome to the stream. Wow. Jeez. I don't even know what to think right now. Like, my heart is broken, and I did not like the sudden personality change. At all. That was creepy. Pigs might fly. I gotta do another one of these. Told me Kiro's the guy. Maybe. I don't know. Gavin seems pretty nice too, though. I mean, Victor's just annoying because he's constantly up my butt about things. But, like, Gavin and Kiro both seem pretty nice. Lucien, I love, even though he's acting all sus. I think it was all lies. I believe it was all lies, even though he told me it wasn't. I think it's all lies, and that's what I want to say. That's what I'm gonna do. Believe that all of it was lies. And there's nothing to worry about. I cannot believe I only got 1 star on that. Hello, Shaker! Welcome to the stream. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. The spacious hall was shrouded in a gloomy, deathly still darkness. Pale light from the clear, cold moon spilled onto the floor through 2 large windows. Lucien stood there, his face expressionless. In the darkness before him sat a masked individual. His ringed finger slowly tapped on the metal armrest. Ares, this time you have disappointed me. You should have been more covert. Lucien met the man before him with a malicious glare.
The time is ripe. I will return to her side again as Ares.
Oh, crap, he's coming back! An up the butt joke, but I don't want to get banned. I really like Lucien and the guys, but some of them seem to be really sus. We just had a chapter where Lucien turned evil. He's evil now, and I'm scared. How are you, Giga Gamer, by the way?
The game has hardly begun, and you're already getting too impatient.
He thinks this is a game? Messing with my feelings? Oh my gosh. The cold light in Lucien's eyes solidified into a sharp, bone-chilling blade. The man in the darkness rubbed his ring and grunted. Then, let me see just how ruthless you can be. You have a stiff neck and back. Yeah, that was me this morning because we had a bunch of storms coming in. Make sure you get a heating pad on it, maybe some ice if you prefer ice, and take a Tylenol. I tend to have back and neck pain all the time because of my rheumatoid arthritis. The moonlight outside the window seemed in this moment like the sharpest of knives. The earth trembled, and suddenly the moonlight shattered like glass into countless fragments, frozen in midair. It lit up Lucien's eyes. Eyes like a brimming sea. Eyes that the girl no longer trusted. The sharp ray of light instantly pierced Lucien's eye, splitting open in his cold vision. Blood flowed from his right eye and down his cheek. Are you I saw that. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that. I need to look at it. That had to hurt. That was his eye. Holy crap, can you imagine? Lucien didn't even blink. Rather, an unnatural smile curled upon his thin lips, icy and perverse. The figure in the dark paused, and in the baleful silence came the sound of 2 booming claps. You always surprise me. There will be no next time. Lucien laughed coldly, and with scorn. He turned and strode out. Outside the door, a man with a scarred face stood there. When he saw Lucien, he winced. You don't need to do this. Lucien didn't look up. After a long while, he slowly opened his mouth.
What do you know?
The man looked at Lucien, this person whom everyone called Ares. He has facing away from the light, looking cold and haughty. In his chilling eyes, there was an undercurrent like the sharpest of daggers. No matter when, this pair of eyes always left one feeling mystified and chilled to the core. They say Ares is the most ruthless person in the organization, respected and feared equally. Today, he finally realized Ares' ruthlessness was not in how cruelly underhanded and emotionless he could be to others. It was in how ruthless he was to himself. It turns out, under his cold exterior, Ares had long been suppressing a vicious desire. The man didn't understand, and he said nothing. He just watched in silence as that figure walked off into the darkness. So, he's harder on himself than he is on the people in the organization, apparently. He vaguely felt that this person, his only trusting companion, was brewing something. Cold smile crept once again across Lucien's face, mixing with the blood and blossoming into an eerie flower. He raised his head, and a wild ambition bloomed in his eyes, blacker than the night sky. What the frick? When the shadow of death shrouds over us, the end is just the beginning. Destiny begins anew, and for this war, he is ready and waiting. The crap? Wow. Okay. I stand in an open field. The sky is low. No wind, no clouds. Someone's calling my name. I look around and see a hazy figure in the distance. I chase after the figure, but it only gets further away. Its color gets lighter, as if haloed with water, starting to disappear around the edges. Suddenly, a great fog swallows everything. All I see now is an icy gray. So cold. I awoke from the desk with the residue from my dream of bone-chilling cold and deep despair, seemingly stuck in my marrow, causing me to shiver. I got up to close the window. The sky outside was brooding with heavy rain clouds. On the horizon, black thunderclouds rolled as if a storm would break out any second. I was feeling as gloomy as the weather, oppressed by thick layers of cloud that didn't let a single ray of light through. I couldn't help thinking of that gentle sunset, that azure blue sky, that day when the truth of the betrayal had not yet come to light. It wasn't long ago, but to me, it felt like ages had passed. The thought almost made me want to mock myself. Lucien never said he had the same goals and aspirations as I did. How could one call that betrayal? From the beginning, he always told me how cruel the world is. I willingly gave him my trust. In the end, no one was to blame. And now, more than ever, I couldn't stew in disappointment and hurt. I couldn't do nothing and have all my previous efforts be in vain. I can't let it get me down. I have to get my spirits back up. After getting my emotions together, I then put the files on the desk in order and placed them into a folder. These were all the information on all the out-of-control eval incidents in Loveland City, and the clues deduced from them. All of the little questions were strung together, pointing in the end to the Loveland TV tower. If Lucien led me on purpose to the TV tower, why did he do that? I picked up my phone. Not one new call or message. My messages with Gavin stopped a few days ago, and Victor's last call was a week ago. I dialed a number, the contact info the commander gave me when I was at the STF. I tried once yesterday, but there was no answer. I waited a long time this time, too, and I was about to give up when someone finally picked up. Hello, I know. You're Miss Pegasusangel YT, right? Oh, this is a woman. Somewhat bubbly woman's voice came out of the speaker, certainly not the commander's voice. The commander ordered me to contact him right away if anyone contacted this number, but recently the commander has had no time, so I'll relay your message to him. I hesitated a bit, unable to tell if she was telling the truth or not. I almost spoke out, but decided against it. I just wanted to ask about Gavin. About Captain Gavin. It's very normal for Captain Gavin to be out of contact while on mission. Don't worry too much. I'm not clear on the specifics myself. All right. Thank you. An answer like that didn't surprise me. I quickly hung up without bringing up my other request. If the effect from the electromagnetic waves becomes greater closer to the TV tower, then getting evolvers involved would be extremely dangerous. And without Gavin anymore, I wasn't even sure if the special task force could be trusted. Right now, there was still one other way. It wasn't time to give up yet. After Loveland City officials took emergency measures, Gavin is sussy? I think Gavin's one of the nicer guys. Orders slowly returned to society. Most stores were still closed, but people were taking to the streets again. On the surface, it seemed like things were getting back to normal. Occasionally, one would see a toppled tree or billboard, like the aftermath of a typhoon. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. But I knew that this was all chaos caused by out-of-control evolvers. Clutching my folder, I hurried off to the Loveland City police station. In contrast to the desolate streets in here, things couldn't be more bustling. All kinds of shouts, complaints, and begging formed a wall of sound. The air was thick with anxiety. Officer Landsman was hurrying past with a file in hand, and I hastily called out to him. I'm missing my Dr. Pepper, oh no! Lucien is nice! I never said I thought he was nice. I liked him, though. I liked him a lot. Officer Landsman, hi. I have some leads here I'd like to provide concerning the cause of the recent chaos. Not you again. Officer Landsman frowned and cut me off, seeming very impatient. We don't have any hot tips here for you to scoop. It's chaos right now, and we don't have time for dealing with reporters like you. Threw out my Dr. Pepper. Yes. I know you did. Having said that, he walked off. I followed close behind to try to tell him the key information. I'm not here for an interview. I've got enough clues here to show that this all points to the Loveland TV tower. If you've just cut off the electromagnetic waves from the tower, then you won't have a riot on your hands. The Loveland TV tower. If you've been investigating it, then surely you know that it was attacked 2 days ago. It's already shut down. Better to throw it out than throw it up. That'd be messy. Yeah, that would be messy. In all fairness, though, like, I am not always that great. I tend to judge people's character pretty well when I first meet them. The frick? Was there an ant on my hand? I smell an ant. Crap. Okay. Sorry. Let me continue. Okay. So, I'm usually pretty good. Yeah, well, I mean, do you not smell ants when they get on you? Like, I smell their pheromones and everything. Is that a weird thing? Is that something that people don't do? Like, we legit, like, there's been ants crawling around. I know, right? But anyway, I always have pretty good judgments of people when I first meet them. But then sometimes I fall into the same trap the main character fell into, where even though I have a judgment, smelling ants is apparently genetic. I threw out your Dr. Pepper. What do you think of my character? What character? Like the cilantro soap taste thing. Gotcha. Okay, so it's genetic. That's why my sister can smell them too. Okay. But no, I'm really good at being able to tell how someone is when I first meet them. As you as a person, I think you're awesome. But then I end up falling into this thing where they're able to kind of trick me into thinking they're somebody else that they're not. And yeah, that's not fun. Alright. Maybe that was their objective. The tower may be closed, but the electromagnetic wave transmission still hasn't stopped. Enough! I'm very busy, so if you have any speculations, find someone else to discuss them with. We have no time to play games with you. Thank you for that lie. It's not a lie. I think you're a cool person. Just like Officer Gavin, nowhere to be seen when you really need him. Probably hiding scared somewhere. Lucky rich kid. Without paying me any more mind, Officer Landsman left in a huff. I'm gonna have to move this over here, because my lid fell on the floor. Since Officer Landsman was a dead end, I decided to find another officer. But no matter how much I tried to persuade them, none of them paid any attention to me. I can't accept that compliment out of spite. What? I do. I think you're a cool person. I'm so confused right now. No one was willing to believe in even the existence of superpowers. So to posit out of control of evil as the cause of all these events was even more outlandish to them. Miss, I think a TV station would be a better place for you. The police station is no place for jokes. Where you'll be like, you complimented me and now I'm offended. Harumph. I know, right? I stood helpless in the station lobby. I thought I must seem like a child acting up for no reason. We've logged the case. Please wait till further notice. The officer said the same thing to everyone, their voices tired and stale from saying it so much. You eating Chinese food right now? Yummy. Leaving the police station, the storm that had been brewing for some time now finally broke out. Okay, I gotcha. You always get the hiccups after eating Asian food? I tend to get the hiccups after I eat fries and stuff. In this moment, I felt like I was standing in the middle of a desert island, the ocean stretching out in every direction, cutting me off from all help. I got a new character and I love her! I wish I looked like that. She's super cute. We need to level her up as much as I can, which is not much apparently. I've only got 4,000 coins. That's it. That's all. Level 10. Gotta get her to level 31 like my other characters. Here we go. Let's see if we can pass this with more than one. Alright, we got this one. Okay. And here we go. Let's see if we can get two crowns. That's right. Prove your awesomeness by smashing the like button, guys. Cancel Pegasusangel and Mr. Beast. Why is everybody so gung-ho to cancel Mr. Beast for helping people out? Like, I don't get it. They claim it's because he monetizes it, but the monetization that he does with it is so he can go help other people. I just don't understand. And why would you want to cancel me? I'm the nice one. Cancel Lucien if you're going to cancel somebody. He made me feel really bad about myself in that chapter. After raining all afternoon, toward evening, it finally let up. The clouds parted, revealing a pale yellow sky. You like Mr. Beast? I like Mr. Beast too. What's up, Jack? I hurried to the office to get Dad's notebook that I'd left behind yesterday when gathering my files. Yeah, exactly. No, Luna Cam. I'm sorry. Luna jumped off my lap before I could do it. All the companies in the building were on temporary hiatus, and there was only one middle-aged security guard at his post. You got exempt from your Spanish 2 Honors final exam? Were you doing that good in the class? That's awesome. Miss, what are you doing coming to work at this hour? It's such a mess out there. You should stay safe at home. I'm just here to grab something. A friend is waiting for me outside. Oh, well, alright. I heard 2 days ago someone got stuck in the elevator on the top floor. When the door opened, he ran out of there scared, and then he saw a dark shadow. You're canceling me? No McDonald's and no Dr. Pepper for a month? I would cry. Oh, really? Ha ha ha. After forcing me to make small talk, and then filling my head with ghost stories, this unfamiliar security guard finally deemed it fit to let me go. These rumors of ghosts in elevators are really getting out of hand. I whispered this to myself as I pressed the button to go up. But my teacher let me be exempt because I came from a lower Spanish. Oh, okay. The other elevator had an under repair sign in front of it. Seems the guard's ghost story might have had something to it. Diet Dr. Thunder and eat Sonic. Hey, you know what? I could handle that. Sonic's got some pretty darn good food, not gonna lie. I haven't had Sonic in a hot minute now that I think about it. Diet Dr. Thunder? No. The lights weren't on in the lobby, and the white marble floors cast a blurry reflection. The cold air was in stark contrast to the sultry heat outside. Even though I didn't believe the guard's story at that moment, I still felt a bit uneasy. Sonic is really good. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. After all, the security measures in this building are good. Nothing strange has happened here, and ghosts aren't real either. I believe in ghosts. I was nervous the whole way, but the elevator arrived smoothly at our floor. Not a thing happened. You haven't had Dairy Queen either? Dang. As I put the notebook in my bag, the phone in my hand suddenly vibrated, making me almost drop it. The screen showed it was actually from Kiro! Because of all the fallout from his sudden retirement announcement, he was probably busy sorting out sponsorship matters. How did he have time to call me? I hastily answered it. Hello? Kiro?
Where are you right now?
He sounds worried. What is he worried about? His tone was very anxious, and his breathing was uneven. I was a bit perplexed. Me? I'm at the office. What's up?
Listen, I'm on my way to you right now. Get out of the office and don't take the elevator.
Never had Checkers, Five Guys, and In or Out. I've had Five Guys fries, but I've never had Five Guys burgers. I've had In and Out. I have no idea what Checkers is. I've never even heard of that. I could hear a constant rapid tapping of a keyboard, and his voice somehow sounded unreal.
On the left side of the building, there's a fire escape. Do you know how to get there?
Yeah, I know it. As I walked toward the exit, I started to ask what this was all about. What?
Shh. Stay quiet for now and wait till you see me. I'll tell you everything.
Even though I was still totally confused, I did as he said. My heart started pounding again, and I couldn't stop my imagination from running wild. No, there's an In-N-Out burger in other places too, not just California, I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure I've had In-N-Out before. When I reached the fire escape that hardly anyone ever used, Kiro's voice just happened to start up again.
Take the stairs down to the 10th floor. Don't worry, I can keep an eye on you from surveillance.
Oh wow, he hacked into the surveillance cam, guys. Dang. Hearing that, I looked up at the camera in the corner, seemingly able to see through it to the person behind it, as if he was right by my side. Hello, Francisco! I ran quickly down the stairs, being careful not to be too loud.
Exit from here and go right.
I didn't know what was behind me, but right when I opened the door, I heard the sound of footsteps from above.
Go to the end, and then take the fire escape to basement level 2.
Good night, Yubi. Guten Nacht. And tschüss. See you later. By now, I was starting to understand the danger I was in. The echoes behind me followed closely, and my palms broke out in an icy sweat.
Don't be scared. They haven't discovered you.
I could hear my heavy footsteps and breathing. Kiro's calm voice on the other end was helping me just barely keep my wits together.
Almost there.
You're still doing some stuff? Nice. Zzz. The crackle of electricity came over the phone, and the signal was cutting in and out, making it impossible to hear what Kiro was saying. Kiro? In my panic, I couldn't stop myself from calling out his name.
Signal's bad. No worries. I'm waiting for you at the exit.
The signal cut out entirely, and my heart sank. I need to run! I fought back my panic and kept sprinting down the dark corridor. When I finally ran out from the pitch-black underground parking lot, the dusky gloom outside seemed like another world. I looked around but saw no sign of Kiro. A black car suddenly sped over, and just as I was about to turn and run, a powerful force pulled me into the car. Damn! You can say hi. You're good to say hi. I want to say hi, but I won't do anything tomorrow. That's fine. You don't have to do anything tomorrow. I don't mind lurkers here. Alright, I just got kidnapped. Guys. I just got kidnapped. Oh, come off it. Really? Why you do that? I hate when it does that. You have to go. All right, see you later, Francisco. Have a good night. We were only there for 3 days. Gotcha. Just when I was about to give up from the setbacks, he popped in my mind. We got Victor, because you guys want me to date Victor. Trying to get all the Victor cards for you guys. Oh my gosh, 1 star for that? Holy crap. I'm gonna have to do some grinding in the next couple days. Before I could even shout, the car door closed in my face and the car sped off. I was in terror and tried to pry open the hand that was holding me, but in the next second I was being held in his arms.
It's me. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be scared.
I mean, what do you expect me to do? You drove up to me, grabbed me without any explanation, held me as tight as you possibly could. Of course I think you're trying to kill me. Kiro's gentle, soothing tone sounded in my ear, and I was completely reassured by the familiar voice and scent. I started to get choked up and almost cried. My throbbing heartbeat was still pounding in my eardrums. I needed a moment to collect myself. Victor is a good boy.
There's someone behind us following this car, so time was tight. Sorry, I didn't know I would scare you like that.
Aww, he genuinely sounds sorry. Kiro patted my back and his voice sounded full of regret. As I lay in his arms, I shook my head, letting him know I was okay. When I settled down, Kiro finally let go. Extremely gently, he smoothed out my disheveled hair. Looking into his clear, pure eyes, my panic dispersed like a cloud. You...
There's still one more thing.
I looked at him and blinked somewhat confusedly.
It's my time to shine. You rest while I shake these guys off our tail. This'll just take a second.
Okay, good luck, Kiro. I turned my head and saw several off-road vehicles hot on our tail, tires screeching. It looked like they were about to ram us. My head was quickly covered and turned forward again by Kiro.
Don't look back there.
Why not? I'm not a little kid.
I know you're not. You're my Miss Chips.
Ah!
There's nothing she can't do. Everything she cooks is delicious, and she always gives me half. She's my superhero.
Oh my gosh, he's so manipulative. As soon as I said I'm not a little kid, he's like, nah, you're not, but you know what? I don't care. This is what I think of you, and... I had to laugh at his joking, seeming to break the ice in my heart. I could finally relax. Hello, Applejack.
Give me a second.
He tousled my hair, and after I gave him the thumbs up sign, he turned back to his computer screen. There were 2 laptops open in front of us, one showing traffic conditions and one showing all the surveillance cameras from the office building. I felt a twinge of fear seeing the figures in black in the video searching through the building. These people were looking for me?
Yep. Do you remember the underground secret room from the Hackers Summit and the things we saw?
I remember. The Black Swan Collective.
Right. Those people who came to get you today are from the very same organization. I hacked into their files. They already did this once a few days ago.
Could that have been the elevator ghost story the security guard spoke of?
Yeah. I couldn't find any more information, so I was worried about you. As soon as I thought you might be in danger,
He turned to look at me, his eyes full of worry.
Thankfully, I found you.
The earnestness and rejoicing in his voice made my heart flutter. He was still the same old Kiro I knew so well. Are those people still after us?
Oh, them? They'll be gone real soon.
Maybe it was Kiro's sure tone, or maybe because he was by my side, but I wasn't a bit scared. It's going good. I trust you. I looked at Kiro. He was focused on the screen, fingers clicking away at the keyboard. He occasionally told the driver which roads to take to get rid of all these suspicious cars. It had been a long time since last we saw each other, and he seemed a little different. A little different, maybe more focused, I don't know. His mouth was drawn, and around his eyes was a little dark. All the brilliance of superstar Kiro seemed swept under the rug. Right now, he was the hacker, Key. There weren't a lot of cars on the roads. I don't know how Kiro was doing it, but we managed to avoid all the red lights. Cars shuttled back and forth, and the streetlights on either side lit up. A yellow glow swept over us, periodically sweeping over Kiro's earnest profile. There seemed to be a gleam in his eye, a side of him I wasn't familiar with. Tap. He struck the final enter key.
We lost them. Now, I'll take you home.
I was about to nod when I thought of another possibility that made me uneasy. Wouldn't it be dangerous for me to return home? Won't they be waiting there for me?
I thought about that, but your home is special.
Kiro brought up a surveillance display in my apartment complex. Aside from the property manager and a few familiar residents, there was nothing out of the ordinary.
There's always been people around your home protecting you, so it's safer than anywhere else.
People protecting me? Special task force?
Right. And I'll be keeping tabs through surveillance. Although, I promise, I have never done that before.
I wonder why he said that. I wonder why he had to say that. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? I have so many bad things I could say to that right now. Kiro pointed at the screen before him and raised a hand in a solemn oath. His serious, solemn manner made me laugh. I finally relaxed and didn't resist returning home.
Actually, I've been under surveillance by some people lately, so I can't stay with you. I'll only feel at ease if you're in your home.
Kiro equals best dude. You took your sister Applebloom to the zoo? Aww. Surveillance? Is it paparazzi?
No, not just paparazzi.
His expression was stern, but he didn't say any more.
Don't go anywhere by yourself for the next couple of days. And don't go out at night. After I've taken care of things, I'll come for you.
His tone was gentle, even a little pleading. Even though I didn't know what things he was talking about, I nodded. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I was just a little frightened just then. That was what I said, but I still felt a little lost and confused. Just who was he being watched by? What's behind this rare look of grim seriousness on his face?
Miss Chips, you don't look like you're doing so hot.
What? I'm fine. I hastily shook my head and gave Kiro a big smile. Kiro firmly took up my hand and locked eyes with me.
Wait till I've taken care of some things, and I will come for you. I'll tell you everything that's happened. So, you need to wait for me. I won't be too long. And you need to get your spirits up, or else I'll start worrying.
Aww. I mean, after the Lucien thing, can you blame me for being sad? Come on, Kiro. Well, you probably don't even know about that, but... This smile was like the dawn breaking through the clouds. It couldn't be held back by any darkness or gloom, and brought me warmth every time. Turns out, he had already noticed how down I was feeling. That something was off with me.
If you're scared, don't turn off your phone. If anything urgent comes up, I'll call you.
He looks so hot!
If you can't sleep, you can call me too. Any time of night.
The car stopped at my building, and Kiro got out to escort me home.
Here, it's a magic healing item.
Kiro placed a little object into my hand and closed my hand over it so I couldn't see what it was. The driver honked the horn twice to hurry us along. Kiro scratched his head and gave a helpless look.
I gotta go. Rest up. I hope the next time I see you, you'll be your usual self, full of vim and vigor.
I stood there and watched the black car speed off just as it had come and disappear into the night. I opened my hand. It was a candy. I unwrapped it and placed it in my mouth. Strawberry flavor. So sweet. The gloomy shadow in my heart really seemed to be lifted from me. Whoa, we got some moments here. Okay, it's always darkest before the dawn. But no matter if it's dark or light, I'll always be by your side. I'll get my spirits back up. Right, good night. Thanks for the candy. I'll wait for you. I'll get my spirits back up. And be raring to go like before. Hopefully. Boop. Hi, Luna. Nothing good here. It's gonna be another 1, isn't it? It's gonna be another 1 crown. At least I still have a bit longer to go before it's totally where I can't continue on. Alright. I returned home alone, still feeling a little shell-shocked. It was already dark outside. The moment between dusk and night had passed, and all the rays of light were extinguished. The deep, dark night seemed like a sea, seething with undercurrents and unknown dangers. Thinking of what had just taken place, I found myself unable to settle down completely. All this time, even though this organization has been causing incidents around me, none of them have been like today. What's happened that's caused them to abandon other means and start acting out in the open? I took out my phone and was surprised to see 2 missed calls and 1 voice message. All from Victor. Finally, we hear from Victor. We haven't heard from him since the first chapter in Volume 2. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I wonder what's going on with him. Having been out of touch with him for so long, my first reaction was to finally feel relief. Great. He must have just been too busy earlier after all. I don't know why, but this whole time I've been out of touch with Victor, I had a constant vague feeling of worry and unease. A feeling that I never had about him before. Something seemingly foreboding. I opened the voice message, not even 15 seconds long. Victor's familiar deep voice boomed forth.
I need to go away temporarily to take care of something very important. Don't worry. You need to protect yourself, and don't go rushing into danger.
Where are you going, Victor? After a few seconds of silence, Victor's voice sounded again.
I hope to see you in the future.
What do you mean you hope to see me in the future? What does that mean? No! He spoke calmly, composedly, and with reluctance and resolve. I put down the phone in a daze and looked out at the multitude of city lights in the distance, my heart pounding with doubt and distress. See me in the future? What did that mean? I hastily tried to call him back, but after a long time, still no one picked up. A robotic beeping reverberated in the night, and that cloud of worry in my chest grew larger. Is he busy? Where could he be at this hour? What was he trying to tell me? I opened the voice message again and listened over and over, trying to find even the slightest thread of a clue. I looked at Victor's name flashing repeatedly on the screen and gave a solemn nod. I promise you, I will protect myself, but I didn't get to tell you. You take care too. As I muttered to myself, my eyes came upon a glass cup on my bed's headboard. It shone with an ethereal blue glow under the light, and I couldn't hold back a laugh at the silly grinning dog painted on it. I wondered if the other cup with the snarling cat on it was being used by its owner. As I traced the dog's outline on the cup with my finger, I let out a smile. Minutes before, Victor's house. No one was picking up the call. After the voice prompt ended, the call hung up automatically.
What could she be busy doing at this hour?
His finger paused over the close button and then hit redial again. Beep, beep. Victor frowned. The incessant beeping of the dial tone was starting to wear on even his patience. Sorry, the number you have dialed is busy. Please leave a voice message after the tone. He let out a sigh and gave up on dialing again.
I need to go away temporarily to take care of something very important. Don't worry. You need to protect yourself, and don't go rushing into danger.
He paused a moment and then added a few more words.
I hope to see you in the future.
The phone slipped from his hand and he doubled over, his body trembling with pain. That familiar soul-tearing pain was more intense than ever. Nice, Ash. Great. That sounds awesome. Whoosh. A wind suddenly kicked up in the sealed space, turning into a vortex. What? Behind Victor, a black hole appeared out of thin air, and a swirling air current rapidly expanded. In the blink of an eye, it had filled up the entire space. The silent vortex seemed entwined with a black light around the edges, but the center was a completely still and pure blackness. If anything entered it, even light, it could not escape. Victor stared grimly into the gaping black hole. The powerful pull from the vortex made it hard for him to hold his ground. Oh my gosh, guys! No! Lucien's gone. Victor's gone. We have no idea where Gavin is.
I guess I have no choice.
Ah! The black hole-like dimensional rift devoured everything in his field of vision. At the moment, he still couldn't help but think of her. In an instant, all light was snuffed out and then quickly returned back to its former brightness. The room looked as if nothing had happened at all. A brightly lit lamp, a cold black and white tabletop, a cube of ice melting in a glass cup. It was as if the vortex and black hole from before were just illusions. Except, there was now no sign of Victor. Ah! Oh my gosh! I'm really starting to feel like I'm so lonely right now. Agent B-15, I have an urgent situation to report. I might consider them, Ash. The young man on watch nearby broke out into a sweat. 1 minute ago, the director in his hand registered a spike of data going past alarm levels in just 10 seconds. Then it rapidly hit a peak and even exceeded the detectable range for the device. The observation tower and an increase... Oh my gosh, you're going too fast, bruh. The observation target experienced an intense energy fluctuation exceeding peak levels. Now, the situation is unclear. Requesting backup to investigate. I repeat. I don't want Victor to be gone, though. Inside the room, the phone that had dropped on the floor kept vibrating, stopping minutes later. Meanwhile, Kiro looked at the file he just cracked, his eyes flashing with vengeance. A document 10 pages long, recording all kinds of data, and at the top, several lines of words. My nose is itchy, I'm sorry, guys. Superpower Amplification Experiment. Code P029. Location number 3, Loveland City. What? Breaking news. 8th Global Investor Summit opens. Why is LFG's Victor absent? Recently, the Global Investment Summit was convened in Washington, D.C. However, notable business figure Mr. Victor, the CEO of LFG, was not in attendance at the summit. According to a summit spokesperson, Mr. Victor had previously accepted a speech invitation, but it is unknown as to the cause of his sudden absence. When reached for comment, a spokesperson for LFG said that they had no comment at this time. According to a personal source, Mr. Victor had been making frequent visits to a private hospital, which is suspected to relate to his current absence. What's wrong with this unscrupulous news outlet? They should just call it what it is. Gossip. If you're that rich, of course you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to go, don't go. Mr. Victor's probably had some emergency. I hope he's okay. Mr. Victor not being there is a bad sign for Loveland City's economy, and fluctuations in our economy means there's a storm brewing. For global finances. Okay, I think I'll stop there. Let's see what Kiro said. I'll get my spirits back up and be raring to go like before. That's the way I most like to see you. Aww. You want to stress eat Dairy Queen and KFC? Ooh, that's a hard choice. I'd go KFC is what I would do. I'm not a big fan of Dairy Queen's actual food. I prefer their ice cream over their actual food. Here we go. ¿Por qué no los dos? Because I just don't. I just don't like Dairy Queen. I prefer KFC. I don't know. Or you're saying why not both? I bet is what you're saying. Why not both? And that's what I mean. Bucket of chicken. Okay, now that makes sense. All right, I go to KFC, I get a bucket of chicken, and then I grab a Blizzard. I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, that would be great. A sound kept blaring outside the window. One ambulance after another, their piercing sirens reverberating through the early morning streets. What happened? Completely unable to sleep, I walked over to the window and watched the ambulances rush off toward a thick cloud of smoke. I suddenly felt a stabbing pain in my brain. Those sirens seemed to be going off in my head with an ear-splitting blare. I cradled my head and couldn't help from leaning on the windowsill. Are you hearing minions doing the siren sound in your head right now? I don't know, but that's the coolest thing to hear in your head when you think sirens. My vision blurred, and for a moment I seemed to lose all sensation. I saw a thick fog with a silvery steel structure flittering in and out of view. Hidden in the fog was a huge tower that seemed incredibly familiar. A powerful wind pushed me forward. I struggled, but it was in vain. I was forced to walk into the TV tower. The elevator stopped at the very top. As the door opened, a white mist rushed towards me. In the fog was a woman whose face I couldn't make out. She said something, but I couldn't hear it. She opened a box in her hand, and the city below her erupted in flame. What is this? What is she saying? I strained to hear, but everything continued on silently. All I could do was try to read her lips. Pandora's. Everything will end. A red switch flashed into the scene, and a hand pulled it down. Everything stopped abruptly. I leaned on the windowsill and gasped for breath to relieve the pain and throbbing just now. I closed my eyes, wanting to find some more information, but I saw nothing. The scene just then kept replaying in my mind. This time, the vision left me completely unclear, like a fragment of an absurd dream. The strange woman, the box, the city on fire, the switch. What was it all? What was it trying to tell me? I recorded the details from the scene in my notebook and then drew a circle around the words TV tower and switch. Then I put a question mark beside box and strange woman. A riddle with no clues, pointing once again to the TV tower. This unknown force is truly powerful, but no matter how powerful, I will not admit defeat. With that in mind, I gave the commander a call. Not 2 seconds later, someone picked up. Pegasusangel YT, what can I do for you? Hello, Commander. Are you free right now? I have an important matter I'd like to ask you about. Speak. You said before that every time I see the future will change. Pegasusangel YT. The commander interrupted me. Your visions certainly do make the future change. But whether that change is for good or bad, the only one who can make that change is you. Without waiting for me to reply, the commander hung up the phone. Only I can make the change? I opened the window and looked out at the TV tower. A cold wind blew, bringing with it confusion and hesitation. If I'm the only one, then will I go change the future no matter the risk? Will I give it my all? I sat on the sofa and watched the news on TV in a daze. Oh, Chuck E. Cheese, that sounds fun. I haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese in ages. For reasons unknown, a series of explosions rocked a residential building in Loveland City at 6:10 this morning. There are currently 5 dead and 47 injured. The only one, I know. The injured have all been rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. As to whether this explosion and the previous series of incidents have a single cause, the police are still investigating. Another major cause of evil out of control. My heart sank as I watched the images from the screen being broadcast. The weight of it all seemed to be pressing down on my chest, making it so I couldn't breathe. If things keep developing like this, what more disasters will unfold, and how many more innocents will get hurt? If I'm the only one who can change the future. The commander's words rang in my ear. After all I've been through, I didn't know if I would be able to fearlessly seek the truth. I held my father's notebook in my hand. It was the only thing now that could bring me courage. Just then I thought of something. Anna said to me before, let the superheroes worry about saving the world. Your safety is the most important thing. Super Mario Bros. Was brand new last time you went. Last time I went was for my sister's 10-year-old birthday. And that was right after another big arcade had opened up in the area that had pizza and games. And it was just kind of boring compared to the other one. But is that really how things are? I thought of that agent at the STF that suddenly went haywire, of Gavin's strange disappearance, of Victor being unable to be reached. The peaceful lives of evolvers destroyed by powers out of control, and the bereaved and despairing people at the police station. If this is all a plot by Black Swan, if I am their final objective, then can I really just turn my back on everything? I've been wondering this whole time, what is my evol for? Perhaps my visions are meant for changing the future, and not for sitting around waiting for everything to happen. I made a decision, perhaps the bravest decision of my entire life. Oh no. Kiro told you not to leave. Don't you dare leave. Don't you dare leave. Nothing to waver about. At least I know I won't regret this decision. Kiro specifically said, you wait for him. Don't you dare leave. And we got some news. Alright. Chain of apartment explosions. 5 dead, 47 injured. This morning at 6:10 a.m., a series of explosions suddenly occurred in a Loveland City residential building. As of now, this terrible incident has caused 5 deaths and 47 injuries, all of whom have been rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. Police officials are conducting a full investigation as to whether this explosion has any connection to the series of previous incidents that has plagued this city. What's wrong with Loveland City lately? Every day there's a new scare. It's really been like biblical plague striking while people just cower indoors. Am I too late to burn an incense stick for good karma? They were caused by Taco Bell. That was right across from my building. All my windows are shattered. They could have been caused by Taco Bell. For all we know. Let's see how good I can get here. Alright. Cat-friendly person Liliana. Soothing the cats. The window shattered, definitely Taco Bell. You're probably right. Alright, that should be 2, right? Yep, that's 2. Alright, what's next? The next day, I sent the clues I'd gathered to the police's public mailing address, and then wrote a letter to Anna, handing future company matters over to her. Then, I gave Kiro a call. A mechanical female voice notified me over and over that the phone I was dialing was turned off. What now? If I couldn't contact Kiro, I wouldn't be able to go through with my plan. But there was no time to lose. I couldn't keep waiting. With that in mind, I decided to disguise myself and go looking for Kiro. Of course that's what my main character would do. She wouldn't listen to Kiro. At all. After leaving my house, I had a vague sense that a pair of eyes were always following me. I surreptitiously turned on my phone's selfie cam, but after looking around, I didn't find anything suspicious. My nerves must still be on edge from yesterday. Being among other pedestrians and cars, I settled down some more. My adversaries wouldn't act out in broad daylight like this, right? I walked quickly to the corner, and a hand suddenly grabbed me. A shady figure dressed in black and wearing a black hat and mask appeared before me. Ah!
Shh! It's me, Kiro.
Oh boy! Is he gonna get me in trouble for not listening to him? When he took off his hat, I finally recognized that the suspicious character actually was Kiro. What are you doing here?
I was about to give you a call when I got to your building. I didn't think I'd run into you first. More about that later. You've got someone following you. We have to lose them.
So, that's how he's chastising me. He's like, I'll talk to you about that later, but right now, we gotta go. Hello, Freddy. There's really people tailing me? I looked carefully behind me, but I still didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
Don't worry. They won't do anything rash here. We'll easily give them the slip.
Then what should we do?
I'll count down from 3. Then we'll run into the metro station.
What? Just like that? My look of complete shock made Kiro laugh.
Yeah, it's just that simple. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Run!
I took off running with him. His hand in mine was warm and strong. I knew we were being followed, but in the moment it felt exhilarating. I turned and looked into Kiro's shining eyes, and we both laughed together. On the metro, we ran into a metro train about to take off. Anyone behind us definitely didn't have time to get on. There were no other people in the whole car, only the two of us huffing and puffing in our seats.
Phew. Now no one's following us.
Kiro took off his face mask. His expression relaxed greatly, and then shifted to anger. Oh, shit. I made Kiro mad. Crap.
Why did you go outside against my advice? If I didn't just happen to run into you.
Oh my gosh, why did he wait till we got to the, like, that is really sweet that he didn't chastise me in front of, like, everybody that was following me. He said more about that later. He said it so, like, nonchalantly that he almost made me think I wasn't gonna get in trouble. Gets the shaver oiled and charged. No, Bozzy, no! Don't do it! Don't do it! Sorry, I needed to find you, and you weren't answering your phone. Kiro took out his phone. Seeing the screen was black, his eyes grew dim. What is it?
Never mind. Why did you need to find me?
This might sound far-fetched, but I think the most recent events may be because of an unknown electromagnetic wave. It can affect some people with special power, a power called Evol. The message from Black Swan in the secret room also mentioned it. The source of the wave is the Loveland TV tower. My guess is there's an emitter at the top. So, I thought maybe someone like Key would be able to shut down the device. Do you believe what I've said?
I believe you. If there's one place that can affect the whole of Loveland City, it's the TV tower.
With the look of trust on Kiro's face, my last speck of worry evaporated from my heart. Kiro turned on his phone, connected his mini keyboard, pulled up the antenna, and a dense string of numbers started flashing across the screen. Evol? Why not Evox? I don't know. His fingers flew over the keyboard, the sharp tapping sounds mixing with the screech of the metro tracks, making me unconsciously hold my breath. The metro entered a dark tunnel, and the daylight disappeared. With the final key tap, a huge error prompt flashed on the screen. Oh, Evox is the main villain in Power Ranger Beast Morpheus. I didn't know that. Giant beads of sweat ran down Kiro's temples. He scowled at the screen and wrung his fist.
Sorry, I can't shut it off.
His tone was dripping with disappointment. I looked into Kiro's gloomy eyes and held his hand. Morphers, gotcha. It's okay. I'll think of another way. Kiro squeezed back on my hand, looked me in the eye, and said in earnest,
Next time, I'm sure I'll turn it off.
At the time, I didn't know what kind of determination was behind those words, and I couldn't make out the hint of unease behind his earnest expression. I only clung to the warmth and courage flowing between our enjoined hands. As the black tunnel flew past me, I even felt a moment of serenity. There's something I want to go do. Kiro didn't turn his head and lightly patted the back of my hand.
I've already guessed what it is.
Kiro affected a mystical tone as he spoke.
If you want to go play the superhero and save Loveland City, then you can't go without me. After all, I'm this superhero's biggest fan.
Aw, that's so cute! I'm not trying to be some mighty superhero and save the world. I just want to do what I can. Even if it's hard. Even if it's dangerous. I don't want to have any regrets. I must turn off that emitter. Then everything will go back to normal.
Not just you. We.
But this will be dangerous, and I don't know what might happen. We might even run into some evolvers. I don't want to get you wrapped up in it.
Don't look at me as some normal person. I'm an evolver too.
My eyes grew wide hearing this word coming out of Kiro's mouth. I almost couldn't believe it. I mean, I thought we already kind of knew that. Did we not? As if satisfied at how shocked I was, Kiro perked up his eyebrows and smiled.
Don't believe it? My evol is passively attracting others. So that's why everyone loves Kiro.
I thought that was just something your fans say as a joke.
No, it's really true. I'm an evolver too, so I have a responsibility to resolve this as quickly as possible.
The seriousness of his tone swept away my doubts. It may have felt unbelievable, but it seemed to explain some things I wondered about before. So, does that mean those fan riots from before were because of your evol?
Right. When I lose control of my evol, it has bad effects. I couldn't appear in public anymore as Kiro, so I had no choice but to retire.
His face looked hurt for a moment, but it quickly returned to normal.
Aside from that reason, there's still another important thing I have to do.
What important thing? Is it what you talked about on the phone last time? I thought you were talking about retiring.
It's not retiring. It's something else. Although, right now, solving the out-of-control evol problem with you is more important.
But...
Don't say no to me. The reason I'm here is to help you. I know this might be dangerous, but that just means I can't let you go alone all the more. I want to protect you, too.
Aww. I seemed to be the only thing in his mind just then. That determined look in his eye made my chest heat up, and I just couldn't say no to him. I want to see what was said about my post. Nothing to waver about. At least I know I won't regret this decision. This seems so solemn, boss. How have you been lately? No matter what, I support you in any decision. If you've already decided, then don't fret over it. Good luck. Alright, here we go. Detective. This person's a real detective, apparently. Nice. Kiro does need a hug. What is going on with him? I feel bad for him. Summon Karma. So we're gonna head to the TV tower and try to stop this stupid thing from causing more havoc, I guess. Oh my gosh, I got 1 star on that. The Loveland TV tower in the city center is 470 meters tall and 124 high. It used to be the tallest structure in Loveland City, one of its landmark buildings. He needs a hug. I agree. Due to an out-of-control eVault incident 2 days ago, the tower has been shut down, and nearby streets have all been blocked off. But surprisingly, what should have been a desolate scene at the foot of the TV tower was actually more lively than usual. A crowd of women holding signs and banners were gathered in the square in front of it, and circling around them were quite a few reporters and film crews. What's going on? What happened? I searched on my phone and found a little story from an unknown source had blown up online. Superstar Kiro to make first appearance since retirement at Loveland TV Tower. How did that get out? Even though officials from the TV tower dispelled the rumor, the news still spread like wildfire. No one had seen Kiro since his announcement, and no media outlet could uncover a shred of information on his motivations. So, when this news came out, true or not, it got everybody's attention, and the officials even had to send staff to maintain order. Did they know you were coming here? Why did they want to expose this? This had me completely confused. I looked over at Kiro. His expression looked complicated.
I think they've already told us.
What? Kiro pointed at the background of the picture accompanying the article. A string of letters in an inconspicuous place in the shadow of the building. Warning. Warning? What do they want to warn about? Is that just a coincidence?
Maybe one picture's a coincidence, but it's in all these pictures.
I looked carefully at all the pictures, shocked to find that no matter which media outlet or which picture, I could find a warning in all of them. What are they trying to warn about? I looked at the crowd and saw they were all looking around too. Every pair of eyes was a scanner, scanning for anyone suspicious. There's so many people now. How will we get into the TV tower? Kiro didn't respond. His sudden silence made me restless. What's wrong? Before I could finish, a sharp cry cut me off. Ah! What are you doing? Let me go! Kiro doesn't need fans like you! The crowd suddenly erupted in panic. Several women started squabbling for some reason, their emotions getting very heated. Even from this far, the ear-splitting shouts could be clearly heard. Not even a few minutes later, the situation escalated, and they started hitting each other, and even people nearby trying to pacify them got mixed up in the brawl. More and more people got swept up in it, and the scene descended into chaos. Even though it was mostly young girls, the situation was terrifying. What's wrong with them? Posters and signs imprinted with Kiro fell to the ground and were trampled. The media excitedly raised their cameras to capture the action, not a bit scared of the threat to themselves. I don't know why they're hitting. It was full-on pandemonium. The outburst was quickly quelled by the security guards in charge. When the girls who had first started it were forcibly removed, they were still struggling and acting volatile. Such a sudden, unreasonable outburst. Could it be? I looked at Kiro, who was balling his fist and looking on in silence at the chaos before him. Those eyes that were always full of sunshine were now full of unmistakable pain and worry.
Maybe it's a warning they were giving to me.
I felt a stabbing pain in my heart. Kiro had always cared so much about his fans. How must he feel seeing fans break out into violence before him? It's just a sudden outburst, and I noticed those girls weren't seriously hurt.
Yeah, I told my agent to keep an eye on the situation. He'll be here soon to deal with it.
Though he said that, he was still feeling bad about everything. I didn't know what to do.
After we get into the TV tower and get farther away, even if my power gets out of hand again, it won't have a big effect. Now, we need to figure out how to get in.
The disturbance just now opened up quite a few holes in the security around the TV tower, allowing us to get into the underground parking area through a side door. Kiro took his phone out and opened an app that I'd never seen before. After he entered a string of numbers, I heard a faint buzzing sound nearby.
This can temporarily jam nearby monitoring devices. They didn't have time to set up too many, so reaching the top level won't be hard.
The underground parking had an entrance for employees. Kiro quickly cracked the lock. We had made it smoothly into the TV tower. Because the tower was temporarily closed, only a few dim lights were on in the underground corridor. Every fork in the passageway was steeped in darkness, like something was laying in wait there. I looked around on guard that someone might suddenly appear at any time. Just then, Kiro reached out and grabbed my hand. The sudden warmth took me by surprise.
If you're scared, you can hold my hand.
My face started turning red. I'm not scared. I'm just worried someone will ambush us.
They won't be waiting for us in a place like this. Don't worry. I don't think this is their goal.
Oh, what do you think their goal is? Kiro gripped my hand tightly. I couldn't see his face clearly, but a moment later he answered me.
My guess is that this is an experiment of theirs.
An experiment? An evol experiment?
Right. An experiment to amplify evol abilities. But the experiment failed.
You mean they're using the entire city of Loveland as a guinea pig?
Maybe not just Loveland City.
We didn't keep discussing the topic, but a seed of doubt was buried in my mind. If this was all an experiment of black swans, then what role was Lucien playing in it? What was their objective for luring me to the TV tower? After the long corridor, we finally reached the ground floor entrance lobby. Upon opening the door, the sudden light made me wince, and Kiro quickly put his hand over my eyes. I blinked, my lashes pressing against his palm, making his hand twitch too.
You'll be fine in a second.
When I'd acclimated, Kiro took away his hands. A giant crack in the lobby floor appeared before me. Oh my gosh. Kiro appearing at TV tower? Fans get out of control. Previous media reports revealed that Kiro was spotted at the Loveland TV tower this morning. This would be Kiro's first appearance since his retirement from public life, causing hordes of media and fans to gather and inciting a huge disturbance. Some fans even sustained injuries in the pushing and shoving. According to a fan, Kiro's agent appeared afterwards, helping to make arrangements for the injured fans. Whether this was at Kiro's bidding is still the subject of speculation. Of course Kiro asked him to do that. No need to speculate. Kiro still loves us. Lame stream media. Good thing I waited. Turns out it was fake news after all. Why didn't I get hurt? I feel like I lost $1 billion. He's retired from the scene and still causing this much stir? Incredible. Dang. Without a single tourist in the tower, it was so spacious and desolate. The crack was a reminder of the incident that had occurred here. 2 days prior, lots of cracks suddenly split open in the tower's floors and walls, and rapidly expanded it, causing a huge panic and nearly set off a stampede. Before it's confirmed that the cracks won't keep spreading, the tower has been shut down. Such big cracks. Will it be a problem? Closer inspection showed cracks both big and small in all the walls, glass, and the ceiling. It made me worried they'd keep growing, because the whole tower It made me worried they'd keep growing, causing the whole tower to collapse.
It won't be a problem. I ran some calculations. The cracks may look scary, but they haven't damaged the load-bearing structure.
But isn't this some freak accident?
Maybe it wasn't an accident. Only a powerful evolver could have such a precise effect. If his power went out of control, the lobby would probably be entirely destroyed.
Kiro took out a small computer he carried on him and opened a file on the desktop. A 3D image of the whole tower appeared on the screen, with dozens of red lines running from its base to the top, showing cracks. I know, right, Moose? How dare it?
These are all the routes to the top of the tower.
Who knew there were so many? So, which one do we pick? Tourists usually only took one route. The other routes on the screen were completely new to me. It's gonna fall down soon.
We can rule out a few from here.
As he spoke, he brought up a black interface. The screen split into 9 squares, each corresponding to a surveillance camera. After a few seconds, it then switched to another batch of feeds. Everything going on in the TV tower was clear to see. A feed with people in it was quickly singled out. 2 security guards still on duty. There were also several suspicious figures flashing by. No telling who they were.
It'd be best if we avoid them entirely. There's also some other places closed for repair. After ruling out all these routes, the only ones we have left are...
One by one, the red routes on the screen disappeared until only 3 were left, all of them overlapping at one part. Kiro sent the map to his phone. The 3D structure simplified into a flat map that we could follow.
Now that the route's settled, let's take the service elevator to the 90th floor observation deck.
But will the elevator be working now?
They shut down the tourist elevators, but the other ones are still in normal operation.
How do you know that? That's good. Otherwise, getting to the top would be a huge problem. Yeah, you can talk about him. The service elevator stopped at the ground floor. We got in and started going up. The numbers on the screen jumped quickly. 20 meters, 30 meters. The air inside seemed stagnant, and I couldn't help thinking of everything that could go wrong.
Why are you so quiet? Nervous?
I really wanted to say no, but I nodded my head truthfully. All this crazy stuff straight out of a movie keeps happening to me. I'm in way over my head. After all, I'm not some action star.
But you have me. I'm Key, after all.
I paused a second. Having a legendary hacker like Key was good, but he wasn't a fighter either. Our attack stats combined probably wouldn't even add up to 5.
Don't worry. We've already escaped twice, haven't we? Doesn't that make you less nervous?
Seeing how unassured I was, Kiro reached out and stroked my hair. Strangely enough, my restless heart really did settle back down. The elevator went all the way up, reaching the 90th floor observation deck. We crossed the lobby, and through the glass wall, we saw a completely different scene outside. Under an azure blue sky and a brightly shining sun, the city looked like a forest of buildings, crisscrossed with streets stretching out into the distance.
Let's come here for fun next time.
Yeah, if they can rebuild it and remodel it. Everything was going smoothly, and I was about to agree when I heard someone talking. Did they come in? I heard they came in through underground parking. We've already been discovered? Kiro reacted instantly, pulling me behind a recess in the wall, a perfect blind spot along the curved corridor. Kiro stood in front of me, his body tensed. Hack track. In this stillness, footsteps on the marble floor sounded loud and clear. They were coming our way. I couldn't see them as they neared. I unconsciously held my breath. All of my senses were focused on the steady sound of footsteps and the warm hand holding mine. The footsteps stopped close to us, and I could just see a piece of the person's black clothing. Have they spotted us? Will they spot us? My mind raced nervously. The sudden sound of the elevator made me tremble. Cold sweat dropped down my back. After several more minutes, we didn't hear any more sounds.
It's okay. They're gone.
Oh, jeez. I thought we were going to be found out. My legs felt like jelly.
There's no telling if they'll come back. We've got to hurry.
Kiro had his hand in his phone, studying our route.
We can't take this
head in his
elevator for
phone.
now, so we'll have to take the freight elevator.
But didn't we rule out the freight elevator because it wasn't safe?
It's possible it was affected by the cracks, but it still runs.
The freight elevator was in a fire escape passageway. The black tiles under us had minuscule cracks that you'd barely notice if you didn't look closely. We waited in silence as it ascended from the first floor. Soon, it smoothly came to a rest on our floor, and the doors opened. I inwardly let out a breath. But then, the moment Kiro stepped into the elevator, something happened.
Stay back!
A strong force suddenly pushed me back. I lost balance and fell to the floor. The elevator suddenly dropped before my eyes. I watched wide-eyed as Kiro disappeared from view. Kiro! The elevator doors slowly closed shut. I seemed to hear a loud bang. My mind went blank. Oh my gosh, did Kiro die? I don't like this. He better not have died. He better not have died. He fell from 90 stories in the elevator. Oh my gosh. It's gonna make me do 2, isn't it? It's gonna make me do another one before I can see what happened to Kiro. I guarantee it. I knew it! Of course it would do that. How dare you, game? How dare you do this to me? Oh my gosh. Alright, let's go. Can I read my story now? I need to see what happened. I gotta know what happened to Kiro. What's this? My whole body started shaking in fear and panic, but now was no time to be scared. He's gotta be okay. He's gotta be. I braced my limp body as I prepared to get up, when I heard the impending sound of footsteps. A robotic satellite dish themed. Who's there? A man in black appeared, pausing in the doorway. Eat sushi now! No! From behind him, in walked a young woman with long black hair, radiating arrogance and scorn like a blood-splattered rose, both captivating and terrifying. She was dressed all in black leather, and there was something ineffably unique about her. She was enticing yet cold, making you want to get near her, but also shy away from the danger. Several more people in black lined up behind her, but none as intimidating as her. Who are you? Are you from Black Swan? Right now, you don't need to know. She stood there looking down on me probingly, her dark green eyes like an icy serpent sizing up its prey, causing me to shiver. You led us here on purpose? You made that elevator drop. Why did you have to do that? What's happened to Kiro? He's not dead yet. Even such an icy voice sounded like the angel answering my prayer at that moment. My nerves wound to the breaking point, finally relaxed. I held back tears and started taking in my surroundings. I had to escape from these people and reunite with Kiro. The way we came was blocked, and one side was a reinforced glass wall. Behind me was an out-of-commission elevator and hallway. I only had one option left. What is your goal? If it's me, then let Kiro go. Bet going on a sushi date with Kiro would change your mind. Maybe. I don't know, though. Hat Track can be childish, but is loyal. Well, that's good. Still worrying about others, even now. Her expression was slightly mocking, but more so. there was something profound that I couldn't read. She neared step by step. The shrinking distance made all the cells in my body cry out to run away. But what was I actually going to do? What could I do? A sudden pain interrupted my thoughts. I propped myself up on the floor. A barrage of broken images flashed in my brain. My eyes swam with gray, white, and black lights. A crash of shattering glass shards scattering everywhere, reflecting dazzling light. I popped open my eyes, snatched up the phone from the ground beside me, and without hesitation, threw it at a corner of the outer wall of glass. There we go. My vision replayed before my eyes. With a smash, the whole plate of glass already riddled with cracks suddenly burst open. Shards rained down where the woman was standing. I didn't even look. I took advantage of the moment to run out to the hall behind me. Hoof! A sudden, massive force washed over me, sending me kneeling to the floor. I seemed to hear my bones straining. I found myself doubled over, trying to escape this force. Stop! For a moment, the strain on my body let up. With difficulty, I leaned on the wall and got myself up, and what I saw next shocked me. All the shards of glass were suspended in the air, shining in the dazzling sun as if an invisible hand was holding them up. A violent wind poured in from the broken window, almost blowing me over, but it didn't move the shards at all. Below it, the black-haired girl was still in the same place, her expression neither alarmed or angry. She didn't move, not even so much as a centimeter. The shards around her slowly rose up and carefully avoided her. I suddenly realized that there probably wasn't just one person here. Thinking of the person in the darkness, my whole body started to tremble. I was taken to another floor, an empty lobby with a glass walkway suspended in the air. The view below made me feel dizzy. The gravity pressing down on me had lessened, but it was still difficult to walk. I tried to remain composed and not let the terror I felt just now fill my entire mind. What do you want to do? The woman's gaze shifted from the window to me. Her expression was a little surprised, but she didn't answer my question. She walked over, stuck a hand under my chin, and raised it up. She did so gently, but even through her soft leather gloves, it made me shiver. Nothing special about you at all. Her frigid eyes regarded me as if looking at a dead thing. What? If it wasn't because of, why would you cause him to sway? She said this as if saying it to me, but also to the him she referred to. Who would that be? You really still don't know anything. She let me go, stood before me, and elegantly removed her left glove. A black snake crawled out from her wrist, its obsidian scales merging almost seamlessly with her black outfit. Its golden pupils locked on me as its forked tongue darted out of its mouth. Although I knew snakes could only see prey up close, I felt like it was watching me with an icy glare, just like its owners. He's also a bit obsessed with technology. That would make sense since his name is Hack Track. I couldn't control my impulse to run away, but the force of gravity still weighed on me. I saw on her exposed wrist a strange black Ouroboros tattoo, and there was an unnatural pale gray color on her fingertip. Everyone else in the lobby unconsciously stepped back, trying to keep their distance. I strained to think of another way of escape. My hands held behind my back trembled, but I had to keep calm and collected facade. Just then, the sound of a vibrating phone cut through the tense atmosphere. The woman took out her phone, saw the caller, and glanced at me with a complex look on her face. Who could that be calling? Seeing her walk back over to the window to take the call, I breathed a sigh of relief. I don't know why this person gave me such an intense feeling of danger. Just being near made me feel suffocated. I could overhear her talking, and unless I was hearing things, she sounded much gentler than before. I'm here to take back experiment equipment P029's effect. I'm here to take back experiment equipment. I'm here to take back experiment equipment. P029's effect isn't as predicted. Hearing this, my body froze. I thought of Kiro's hypothesis about this being an experiment. An experiment where every evolver in Loveland City was a test subject. Was it really true? All my attention was focused on this phone call, hoping to hear more information. You knew? I can't guess what you're thinking. Yes, you won. She abruptly hung up the call and walked over to her bedraggled captive. Her constant look of observation and her excitement of seeing me struggle were completely vanished. A subtle fury was seething in her dark gray eyes. I had no idea what she was going to do next. I'm a bit scared to find out what she's going to do next, honestly. What time is it? 9 o'clock. Maybe we can get 2 or 3 more chapters in. Maybe. I say that because I don't know whether I'll get 2 crowns or not today. Or 1 crown with this one. Because they're getting harder and harder each time. Alright. I'm not going to kill you. Her indifferent expression did not conform at all to the words out of her mouth. If you can escape from my grasp, then I'll concede that you have some value. Her hand hadn't even touched me. Just from the nearness, I could feel a scorching pain. I looked in shock as her gray fingertips seemed to dissolve and spread into the air, drifting around like a living creature. I unconsciously held my breath. What? A loud sound came from the level below us, and the floor seemed to shake with it. What was that? An explosion? Right after, a huge plate of glass shattered, and even the glass underfoot started cracking like it would break open any second. He can teleport to any location. That's kind of cool. What's happening? Just as she said that, tons of white smoke billowed in from all directions, filling the space in a few short seconds. My vision went blurry in an instant, obscuring the people and the scene in front of me. And a blaring disaster siren sounded, reverberating throughout the building, drowning out all the other sounds. The automatic sprinklers in the ceiling started spraying water from out of nowhere. In the sudden chaos, the gravity that had been pressing on me finally let up. Now was my chance. The woman in front of me instantly reacted and tried to grab me. I don't know why, but her hand suddenly paused just a few centimeters from me. I don't think I'll ever have such a moment of agility for the rest of my life. Darting through the thick fog, I quickly got away from several people and ran for the exit. He's able to jump very high. Interesting. Okay, here we go. In the fog, a hand suddenly grabbed my shoulder.
Come with me.
It was Kiro's voice. My nose got all prickly, and I almost cried. Even though we were escaping, the fact that Kiro was all right was all I could think about. I felt a happiness as if I had survived a disaster. The whole building seemed to be full of smoke, but with his map, Kiro knew exactly where to go. I sensed that we went through several doors and ran down a corridor, the sound of footsteps retreating behind us. After a few minutes, the mist gradually faded. I looked at Kiro, pulling me along. He seemed a mess, his hair all wet and plastered to his forehead. He can also fly thanks to the jet thrusters under his feet. Interesting. So, Kiro is still alive, thank goodness. His face was wet, and when he looked at me, so were his eyes.
Are you okay?
The two of us asked the same question at the same time, and then finally I went first. They seemed to have some other objective, so they hadn't done anything to me yet. And you, that elevator suddenly fell. Were you hurt? Remembering that chilling moment, I still felt worried and started checking him for injuries.
I'm okay. The elevator fell a dozen meters and then slowed to a stop. It was just getting back up here that took some time.
Kiro gave me a reassuring smile as he downplayed what just happened to him. Well, thank goodness. Seeing he didn't want to worry me, I tried to change the topic. Was that smoke back there all you're doing?
Yep, just one of my little special moves. Good thing it worked. Right now, we need to figure out how to get out of here. Quick. They're dangerous. And not just that woman. There's the one hidden in the shadows, too.
He lowered his head and found the information he was looking for from the tangle of routes on his phone. His long fingers quickly froze.
We can't use any of the elevators now. That only leaves the stairs. Can you do it?
He looked at me, neither panicked nor shaken, giving me a great courage. I can. In the lobby. Dumb little trick. The white smoke disappeared instantly, and the fractured holes in the glass were controlled at a certain height. With the cross ventilation, the wind that surged in didn't affect the people standing. The black snake wrapped around its owner's shoulders, flicked its tongue, and stared malevolently at the man who had suddenly appeared. They ran. Aren't you going to chase them? No. Well, that's no fun. You don't want to see how far they'll struggle? If you're done playing, then I'll have a turn. The sparkling stairs kept going up, seemingly without end. The open space of steel and glass reflected the sunlight from the rooftop, like an amber-colored glass castle. The crisscrossing steel, giving off light and shadow, formed a bewildering image. The spiral-shaped steps wound upwards around the wall like an endless stairway to heaven. The sound of footsteps rang out particularly clearly in this quiet space. Thud. A sound suddenly came from lower down, echoing as if something broke and fell from high up. These sounds kept coming, reverberating ceaselessly as their echoes suddenly or slowly faded out. It made my feeling of uneasiness stronger. What is that noise? Starts playing Stairway to Heaven. Kiro didn't respond. After a bit, he pulled on me and suddenly picked up the pace.
Run! Quick!
A crashing sound grew closer, and I looked back as I ran. What I saw almost took my breath away. As far as I could see, the stairs below us were gradually collapsing, level by level. As if affected by some heavy force, they warped and snapped at the base. The steel and stones fell with a huge crash. What is happening? Why are the stairs...
It's that guy's power!
This is an evolver? The one that was weighing me down back there has this much destructive power? The noise kept drawing nearer and nearer. I didn't dare look back anymore. My feet were getting heavier, and it was getting harder and harder to breathe. The collapsing stairs and crashing noises were like something inexorably heavy shadow. I missed something. I know I did. Were like inexorable death. A heavy shadow shrouded the entire space, and the pressure mounted in my chest. The distance to the top was despairingly far. We seemed to be sprinting down an endless hall, seeing the same thing over and over again. My body was almost at its limit. My lungs stung, my muscles burned, but my feet didn't dare stop. The hand that was holding mine, and the warmth of another person, gave me the greatest support.
Hang in there!
The closer we got to the roof, the closer we got to the emitter, and the greater its effect. I hadn't felt anything before, but now I started to feel discomfort. Kiro, who was running ahead of me, suddenly staggered, almost losing his balance. Luckily, he was holding the handrail. Kiro, are you okay?
I'm fine. My foot just slipped. Did I scare you?
Kiro tried to sound as casual as possible, but I could feel his hand trembling in mine. Are you sure? We're
fine. We're definitely gonna be fine.
I wish I could believe him. Kiro squeezed tight on my hand. He looked back and gave me a reassuring smile. A club which resembles an antenna dish. Interesting. His eyes in the moment held something I didn't understand. but I didn't have any energy to think about that. Make it to the top and turn off the emitter. After that, I had no idea. I could already feel the wind being kicked up by the stairs, collapsing behind me. Our every step was a race with death. My only thought was just keep moving forward.
Almost there.
Even the longest journey has an end. It felt like an age had passed. I looked up and saw the half-open rooftop door, an under-maintenance sign standing in front of it. Through the door, I could see the metal structure on the rooftop. It was just like in my dream. We made it! My voice crackled with excitement, but neither of us noticed. That door was like the dawn after a long night. I felt like crying tears of joy.
He's here.
What? One step from the rooftop, Kiro halted. He let go of his hand from mine, and the sudden loss of warmth sent me into a tailspin. What's wrong? He turned and looked at me, his face a pallid white. His smile was still gentle. Suddenly, I felt intensely uneasy. This is not okay. Something's not right. We're going in, right? Kiro didn't answer. His eyes intent on me gleamed with a flash of golden light from above. A golden light from above. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta read this in a minute. He also has a club. Okay, it can absorb technology, which he can gain the ability of that technology. Again, another thing that makes sense. Okay. When I looked carefully, I discovered his eyes had turned into this exquisite gold, like the purest amber or crystallized time. Within the gold were constant little flashes, one line after another, of tiny code, just like text flying across the screen.
I command you.
Oh my gosh, his eyes are actually gold. I don't like this. I had never heard him sound like this before. Stiff, stern, and solemn.
All within my range of control belongs to me. Now, walk onto the rooftop, lock the door, and don't let anyone in.
What? Heart of gold, eyes of gold, win-win. They've also got code floating in them.
Including me.
Kiro has a split personality, you think? As he spoke, I realized in a panic that I was unable to speak. I couldn't move, as if I'd lost control over my body.
Don't be afraid.
My body started moving on its own. Not listening to my commands, step by step, I walked past Kiro. Oh my gosh! What? Why would he do that? Why would he do... No! I thought he was the good guy. Moose, do you think he's the good guy still? When I brushed past him, I heard him say,
You'll be okay. I said before, I will definitely succeed this time. I will always protect you.
Why can't I listen to my... Why? His voice was soft as the wind drifting away all at once. I stepped through the door and onto the rooftop. But I don't want to! My soul felt imprisoned in an empty container. I'd lost the ability to think. Why would you do that? I turned and slowly shut the door. Don't! Don't! Kiro hasn't come in yet! I shouted silently, praying, but my body kept doing as it was controlled to do. Only my tears loyally followed the wishes of my thoughts, gushing outward and blurring my vision. I saw the stairs collapsing level by level, and a black figure suspended in the air behind Kiro, just like scythe-toting death himself. I closed the door! No! No, 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 no! Through the haze of my tears, the last thing I saw was Kiro's familiar old smile. His smile was warm and dazzling, as if we were facing not boundless danger and darkness, but a dream that we'd agreed to explore together. Before the door closed, I heard him say one last sentence.
Miss Chips, wait for me.
But now I don't know if I like you. That was creepy. The step under his foot disappeared. I locked the door. Oh, I hate this. I hate this. This is torture. I'm not gonna lie. The whole scene disappeared, and the only thing before me was a cold gray metal door. But he, like, took away, like, my control of my body. Against my will. Like, it's obviously against my will. I didn't want to leave him. That's kind of like when Lucien hypnotized me against my will. I couldn't hear anything as I stood alone on the closest place in the city to the heavens. A huge wind sweeping over my face with bitter cold. Torture is the curse called forgetting. I know! I seemed to see a golden-winged bird fly by, like a ray of light crossing the sky, leaving a temporary light trail in my vision. Oh my gosh! I don't, oh my gosh. That took a turn. I thought I was scared of Lucien's crazy voice, but even Kiro's voice was a little bit scary that time. Oh my word. A turn for the worse. It's 9:16. I have to end. It's kind of sad because I think this is actually the last chapter in this thing. But I do have to end because I got to go to work. But oh my gosh. Wow. Can also fire an energy ring and lightning beam. Oh my goodness. And I forgot to do clips of anything. So if there was anything you guys wanted clips of, you better get them. Because, yeah, I forgot to do clips because I got so into the story. Oh my word. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. That was a terrible way to end. Terrible way to end. But I do have to go to work. So, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do want a clip of Lunacam. I'm sure you can find a way to get one. I really do appreciate you all being here and letting me play this, one of my favorite dating simulators that I found. And yeah, have fun storming the castle and all that stuff. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And as always, much love, everybody. Mwah. Go out there, go spread some love and positivity today because you never know who needs it. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time with more language learning practice. And we're going to be doing German tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you're staying safe and staying positive, and I will see all you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone!